Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Delight. Today's Tuesday, August 1st. Let's begin by welcoming and greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 전진 참 부모님께 기양배. Kara. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
합병맹세 1. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for opening prayer, can I please invite Reverend Joshua to pray for us today? Thank you.
Beloved parents, spirits of the divine, and parents of heaven, and humankind. Good morning. So grateful that we can be here as some family centered on you, to attend you this morning and align ourselves to your will and also be able to greet you this day. I pray that for the successful accessibility for those who are coming on this morning, that they can come on without any issues, and that we can really prepare our hearts and minds and spirit and receive the message for today, to apply into our lives, to share connection and relationship with you, with those around us as well, help them connect with you as well. So I thank you as we continue on throughout this day. I pray that we can really bring you to our experiences, and really know that you are here with us, guiding us every step of the way. So I thank you. And I close this prayer in the name of Joshua Grotowski, the Grotowski bless our family, and we gather here at home.
Adieu. Thank you, Reverend Josh. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's take a break to share our gratitude, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good sharing. Jean Gomez, would you like to share?
Yes. Morning, everybody. Morning, brothers and sisters. Morning, pastors. I would like to share, I'm grateful for true parents. For since our father ascended to the spiritual world, I've had dreams of father before father ascended. I've had dreams of our true parents. And after father ascended, I still dream about father, you know, and one night after father ascended, he came to me and he asked me about my husband, and I told him something. Father cried and cried and cried. Father cried for so long that I was so shocked, and this was in a dream. And I was so shocked in this dream that father was crying for so long. And then I realized that even though father is in spirit world, father is well aware with what is going on because father is very concerned about every blessed couple. Father loves the blessed couple because father said that he take responsibility for the blessing. Father loves all of us. And then even though father is in the spirit world, he's well aware of what goes on with every blessed couple, with every individual member, with every brother and sister, with every member of the Unification Church. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for true parents, even though I still have dreams. I have dreams of father and I have dreams of mother now. And I still dream. And today is August 1st. August 1st, and we are praying for Father Sumwa on the 31st of August. And we are praying. And early today, I read Reverend Song's letter because Talzora sent it. And it came in English. And I read it 11 pages long. And Reverend Song shared about what is going on in other countries, what went on in other countries, and how the members are working from Brazil to Costa Rica to St. Lucia, all these little countries. Reverend Song shared in the sermon that mother said that we must read. And I read it, 11 pages long. I read it early today. And I was so moved by what Reverend Song shared to brothers and sisters. And I promise that it's so long and so touching that I'm so grateful that Tal could send it to us. I'm so grateful for what he shared with us. And he shared about the Shun Shim1 and everything. He shared so beautiful in his sermon. That is a sermon that mother said that we must read it. And today is August 1st, and I'm grateful that God has spared our lives to see the 1st of August. And I'm grateful to Heavenly Parent and True Parent for everything they have done for us. Adieu.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you. All right, brothers and sisters, let's get ready to listen to our Godable reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's Memoir. Pastor Milhan.
Thank you, Aunt Kathleen. Thank you, Mama Jean. Yes, we are very inspired by Mother's leadership today, really guiding us. The Chuncheon one, Reverend Song, great job. And we are in New York, where we have a lot of responsibility, and we'll do it by reading our Godable for today. Everyone's hearing this? It's good, right?
No.
No? Okay, yeah. take two.
All Tears from Their Eyes, a memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Allison Hiroto. Chapter 8. The mother builds the family builds the world. Loving your family means giving your life. I love you. These are the sweetest words. They are the first words because through love, all life begins. But human beings can speak these words either responsibly or irresponsibly. God also gave animals the power to multiply through love. Animals search for a partner with whom to bear and raise offspring. But they differ from us in that for them, love is instinctual, and they are not responsible to make moral decisions related to love. For human beings, in contrast to animals, love is accompanied by responsibility. Love practiced with moral responsibility is what we call true love. A husband and wife who believe in the sanctity of love and fulfill their responsibility accordingly are practicing true love. Through their love, God creates a nest of happiness. True love makes us true husbands and wives who, after giving birth to sons and daughters, grow to become true parents. The saying, "When one's home is harmonious, all goes well," is a truth of the highest value. It was true in the past, it is true today, and it will be true in the future. True love is the most important factor in creating a happy family. My husband and I bless the marriages of couples of all races, nations, and religions, and provide true family values education for the sake of creating families of true love. With true love, you can gladly give your life for your family. Sacrificing your life for your family is at once heroic and tragic. I am reminded of a very sad event that took place in Belize, Central America, in early 2019. A Japanese couple, Takayuki and Junko Yanai, who participated in the 1988 blessing ceremony of 6,500 couples, had been doing missionary work in Belize since 1996. One night, an armed burglar broke into their family home. He shot at Mr. Yanai, but at that instant, their third son, 19-year-old Masaki, jumped in front of the bullet, giving his life to save his father. When I received the report of this event, I closed my eyes, unable to speak for some time. Of course, no family lives a perfectly tranquil life, but it is truly heartbreaking to see a family meet with such a terrible tragedy. I also know the pain of losing a family member, of saying goodbye to a child, while remaining in this world myself. 4 of my children have already departed this life. Is not every father and mother committed to give their life to save their child, as Masaki did for his father? Love between parents and children most resembles God's love. Love within the family is the model of the love that God desires us to practice in all spheres of life. There are stories like that of the Yanai family, where misfortune suddenly comes from the outside. But there are also stories where families bring misfortune upon themselves. Discord between husbands and wives is one of the main reasons our world cannot be at peace. There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today, but the creation of peace really depends upon 2 people, 1 man and 1 woman. That is a husband and wife. People enter into various types of relationships and encounter different kinds of problems, but the root of all these problems is the same: the flawed relationship between man and woman. Peace will come when 2 people, a man and a woman, trust and love each other. If men and women can fulfill their mutual responsibility to trust and love each other, the world will become the happy place we all wish it to be. I'm saying that each person's happiness depends on his or her ability to achieve peace in their marriage and family. When true parents, true spouses, and true children form a peaceful family, happiness flows naturally. Harmony is created when parents, children, and grandchildren unite in heart. No matter what difficulties come, the parents' heart of love for their sons and daughters and the grandparents' heart of love for their grandchildren should never change. Grandchildren also need to respect and love their grandparents. The greatest happiness is generated within the family where 3 generations live together in love. Children of true filial piety are those who sacrifice for their parents, just as their parents have sacrificed for them. Before striving to be a loyal patriot, each person must first become a filial child before his or her parents, and a sibling who sacrifices for his or her brothers and sisters. A man or woman becomes a truly filial son or daughter when he or she is married. Truly filial sons and daughters are those who present children to their parents, thereby becoming true parents themselves. The family is the world's most important institution, and Heavenly Parent created it to be the environment of the greatest happiness and goodness. The goodness is because your mother and father are there, and the happiness is because your brothers and sisters are there. All people, without exception, miss their hometown. When we live in a foreign land, our hearts ache for our hometown. We miss our nation because our hometown is there, and we miss our hometown because our family is there. A flower called sacrifice. It was 1961. And our church was filled with brides and bridegrooms standing solemnly side by side, each bride holding a bouquet. Outside the gate, however, angry parents gathered. Through the windows came the clamor of raised voices. "I'm absolutely against this wedding. Stop it at once. How on earth can you think this is a real marriage?" They energized each other with their outrage. "That Mr. Moon took my daughter to marry her off like this. I will never give my consent. Let her out of there." One of them even threw coal ashes over the gate, dirtying the wedding gown of a beautiful bride. When the Unification Church conducted its first large wedding ceremony, many throughout Korea stood in vehement opposition. Parents opposed to the wedding turned the neighborhood around our church, where the newlyweds should have been congratulated, into a place of pandemonium. There are no words to describe how severely we were attacked and maligned at that time. Yet we overcame the hurt and embraced the opposition. We have conducted what we call the blessing ceremony for over half a century, blessing in marriage hundreds of thousands of couples of all races, nations, and religions throughout the world. This is a testimony to the fact that the blessing ceremony is a manifestation of God's love and truth. The marriage blessing ceremony, conducted by the true parents, is a sacrament rooted in single-minded devotion. It is a ceremony of true love, and true love embodies sacrifice. A poet once said, "Love is the pain of giving up myself." We cannot achieve true love without offering ourselves. Man is born for woman and woman for man. Naturally and joyfully, we should sacrifice ourselves for our beloved. This is nowhere more evident than in our cross-cultural marriages. You have graduated from a prominent university, and you have a good job. Think about it. the person who is to be your spouse is of a different race, and her family lives halfway around the world. Are you going to go through with this? When asked such a question, most people will waver. Our members, on the other hand, immediately answer, yes, I will. I am thankful to do this because it is for a great purpose. The unification movement teaches that intercultural, interracial families are the key to world peace. During my husband's life, most of our members requested that he and I arrange their marriage for the purpose of their making a complete offering to their lives to God. In many cases, if not most, they knew that this meant they would be dedicating their life to someone who was quite different from them, who might not speak their language or know their culture. They wanted their marriage to be grounded in nothing but God, true parents, and the principles of peace. Our brides and bridegrooms requested this path with gratitude, but their parents sometimes desperately opposed it. It was the parents of the thousands of Korean Japanese couples that faced the greatest difficulty. One Korean father represented many when he wrote to my husband, "When I think about what we suffered under Japanese colonial rule, my blood still boils. To think that my son will marry the daughter of our enemy nation. I will never accept a Japanese daughter-in-law into our family. Never." Many parents of the Japanese brides felt the same from their side of the divide. Jesus said, "Love your enemy." Most people admit that a peaceful world will come only when we love our enemies. Nonetheless, it is not easy for most of us to translate Jesus' words into action. Some brides and grooms bit their lips as they took part in these joint wedding ceremonies. Their course was by no means smooth as they prepared for their marriage and spent the first years of their lives together. But their commitment to live for a purpose beyond themselves, centered on God, gave them the strength necessary to liquidate the underlying terrible history of their two nations that had been enemies. They were able to dissolve this bitter root through coming to understand each other and healing each other's pain.
Thank you for listening to Godable.
Oh my goodness. This is like one of the best episodes ever. It's filled with suspense and pride, and just knowing that the blessing, really, again, we all know this. The marriage blessing, this is the number one most important thing in our entire movement. And reading this chapter just fills my heart with joy, knowing that this book exists and it's out there and will continue to get out there. But Mother put so succinctly the power of the blessing. So really well articulated. Let's just go through the points. For human beings, in contrast to animals, love is accompanied by responsibility. Love practiced with more responsibility is what we call true love. So true love is the basis for all motivation, all creation, co-creation. And so the difference between humans and animals is our level of responsibility. Okay, animals are not responsible for the cosmos. We are. And so all the creation are just as our plaything, it's our playground. You know, the earth is really as a giant crib filled with a farm, you know, little stuffed animals and things for us to play with during our lifetime. This is human life, and love is the most dangerous and the most wonderful thing. So, very good point there. Okay, I'm just highlighting all over the place because, I mean, I feel like this could be a sermon series just digesting this content right here, but Love within the family is the model of the love of God, of the love that God desires us to participate in all spheres of life. So this is why our family is so important. Your family is so important, because it is a microcosm of everything. Excuse me, of everything. If we can, I often think about politics when I make peace in my own home, and I realize how much politics is lacking the values that any family should have. And so I'm thinking, how do we scale this? How do we scale an ideal family, a true family, into a community and then into society and the world? So, but yes, all of it is in the family, and this is God's design. Again, and not some institution that we made, but that God made. Okay, this is such a deep point, and I wish people could understand this more easily. I mean, it makes logical sense, but yes, the discord between husbands and wives is one of the main reasons our world cannot be at peace. Now, I've always said, people talk about the different races, the different colors, I don't know what colors they are, but we're all the same color, right? We're all just different shades of black, that's what we are. But you have, for me, I see there's only two races, boys and girls, men and women. This is the only real race that we have, because we're biologically different. And that's plenty different. So the most difficult mountain bridge to make is between men and women. And so that when we come together, we encompass the Alpha and Omega. We are like the book, what do you call them? The bookends of the cosmos, if we can unite. And this is literally the definition of Chanoguk. So down here, it says, peace will come when two people, a man and woman, trust and love each other. I'm telling you, this is the key. Yes, I'm a pastor. Yes, I do a lot of things, spiritual work, pray for people. But I just, more than all of that, is my challenge to unite with Sayaka. Like, that is the number one task at the end of the day. That is where my devotion plays out, where all my prayers are answered, is when I can unite with Sayaka for the world. That is it. So yes, this is the challenge. And as we were learning, even mother and father, they had to bridge their differences too. But when the true parents come together, boom, peace can be made. And just the other day, I was, longing for Sayaka. So I was hugging her, and, she was hugging me back. And we were just actually really loving each other in the home. And then it didn't take 10 seconds before Hiroki just came around and just hugged us. And Ayumi was coming, and it was just, when a husband and wife come together, the children come running. They just want to get in there. They want to get in that love. So it's the same with all people and God and for parents. The greatest happiness is generated within the family, where 3 generations live together in love. And so this is where you're starting to multiply that love between husband and wife, into children, grandchildren. And when you get 3 generations, that's when you've solidified the model. Okay, now we're talking about the blessing itself. I don't know why I'm laughing. I just feel it's crazy how much opposition we had. Here Mother says, there are no words to describe how severely we were attacked and maligned at that time. Yet we overcame the hurt and embraced the opposition. We've conducted what we call the blessing ceremony for over half a century, blessing in marriage hundreds of couples, to hundreds of thousands of couples of all races, nations, and religions throughout the world. This is a testimony to the fact that the blessing ceremony is a manifestation of God's love and truth. Okay, I mean, there's plenty of proof to show how effective the blessing is, how people are transformed. They come off drugs and now they're married and cleaned up. This should be a parent's dream, is that their child is cleaned up, getting blessed, getting married, having children, living a conscientious life. I mean, this should be a parent's dream, yet they oppose because they don't believe it. It's so dramatic sometimes that people think they must be brainwashed, because there's no way this happened just through spiritual power or whatever. I was actually, Caleb, he shared with me a video with RFK Jr. He was doing he was meeting, doing an interview or meeting with some people. And in it, he had to confuse, and I appreciate this, because he was heavily addicted to drugs for like 14 years. I forget how long, maybe 14 years of his life. And they asked him how he got off the drugs. And as it turned out, a very close friend of his joined our church. And he also was as drug addicted as he was. And they used to take drugs together. But his friend joined our church and got cleaned up. He doesn't do drugs anymore. And actually, apparently that inspired him to want to change. In fact, he was so terrified of joining our church, right? He didn't want to join our church, but he wanted to get whatever he got from our church to overcome his drug addiction. And he was able to get out, actually. And now, obviously he's okay now. But it's funny. But he also said how he would rather die than join a cult. And it's like, oh, that's too bad, because you would have gotten the real benefit of spiritual, getting spiritually cleaned up too. But I just find it funny how we did so much for the world. True parents have sacrificed so much for the world, yet people don't want it. They're afraid of it. They think, oh, this can't be real because it's too dramatic. And of course, all these, especially the Japanese, Korean couples, God bless them, they really paid the price. Dr. Young, I'm sure you've all heard his talk. Very, very common talk. You can tell he gives his talk a lot to VIPs and whoever. Because down here, what was it? People don't believe this anyway. People are in disbelief of how powerful the blessing is. Only rooted in God, true parents, and peace. It's just a beautiful thing. So here, Jesus said, "Love your enemy," right? So Dr. Young, he gave such a great talk about it, because he's also blessed to Japanese, right? And so he talked about how much he hated Japanese, right? He couldn't stand them. They just did so many terrible things in Korea, and this is true. I mean, there's legitimate reason to hate Japan after what they did. Yet he was blessed or matched to a Japanese, and so he started to describe in some detail how, okay, Jesus said, "Love your enemy." Okay, love my, fine, love my enemy. Then it's like, so he's taking now he's going on a date, going to a movie with his enemy, and then next he's, taking her back to his house with his enemy, and then they start to get excited, like making love to the enemy, he's just going crazy. Everyone's laughing and just it's just an uproar of laughter, just like taking. And this is the path to peace, not just loving your enemy, saying the words like it's some virtue, but making love to the enemy, making a family with the enemy. I'm telling you, all these parents who disown their children, like my mom's parents disowned her when she married my dad. When my sister was born, everything changed. How can you hate your grandchild? It's just impossible. So unless you're really insane. But yeah, this is the blessing in a beautiful nutshell. It's just such a beautiful piece right there. I'm gonna review for my future sermons. But yeah, anyway, thank you for hearing my reflection today. It's good to see you, Dr. Sonnenborn. It's good to see you back. Yes, God bless you. Okay.
Thank you, Pastor Milans. Okay, everyone, let's take a few moments to share our reflections, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good sharing. John Watson, would you like to share with us what you shared in the group?
All right. So yeah, today's reading had a lot of deep stuff. And one part that there was just one sentence in there that when they're talking about 1961, when they're having the blessing, and it should be a happy thing, but outside the fence, there's all these negative parents shouting that they don't support it, and somebody threw coal ashes over. And one of the sentences in there was something that they energized each other with their negativity or something like that. So that is true because it's give and take. It's bad give and take, and it creates energy. And I've had some sociology classes, and in those classes, we learned about people in groups, and people in a group will act differently than a person individually. So these people were in a group, and when one person ups it a little bit, then the next person is going to up it a little bit more. So that is sociology. You would act different if you were alone. But then today I realized something else that I didn't realize before was when I was getting matched, getting blessed, get my suit and my white tie and get ready for the blessing. I was thinking individually, yes, I'm going to do this, but also I was part of a group, and the group had to give and take of my peers around me were also getting ready for the blessing, but also as a whole movement, we were all saying, yes, this is a thing we want to do. We're going to do it. So I was also part of people in a group acting together for a good cause, for a good thing, and it all turned out well. So that's my reflection.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Do we have any prayer requests today? All right, then, brothers and sisters, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Sheja. Most beloved Heavenly Parent.
Good morning, Heavenly
Thank
Parent.
you,
Good morning,
Heavenly
true
Parent,
parent.
for this
Heavenly Parent
amazing
and true parent,
chapter,
we're so grateful
which
for
is
this
also
day.
very
Heavenly Parent and
challenging
true parent, today,
chapter, and the
August 1st, Heavenly Parent and
bitterness
true
and
parent, a new month. Heavenly Parent and
incredible
true parent, we're so grateful
element
for
of
true parent. We're so
sacrifice
grateful
that is
for true
so
parents, hard
difficult to
work,
describe.
Together.
It's
true
so
father,
difficult
send
to
spirit, for true mother,
So
nurture,
grateful
to
for
understand
parents and
how
newborns.
you created
long
this
life,
world,
good
Just
health,
this is a word, a
sacrificing
short
Heavenly
word, but
Parent. You created
presenting
us
your
Heavenly Parent and
6,000
true
biblical
from
years
your
of
own
effort
flesh and
Heavenly
bone.
Parent and true
to
parent,
purify
You
the
created
lineage
this
of your
world from
children
your
so we
own
can
Heavenly
substance,
Parent and true parent,
the
we're so
invisible,
experience your
grateful
love
for the
directly.
eternal,
blessing. Heavenly Parent
ultimate
and true parent, we're grateful.
Satan
substance
has
of
made
the
his
invisible,
final
intangible
attempt
God, the
your hand in
parent.
my
cut us off
life.
from you, but it's
Nevertheless,
not
the
going to work.
ultimate reality
Because the
that is
word
not from
is
nothing,
Please
but
bless
from
there.
yourself, Heavenly
As
everyone
long
who
Parent.
as
is thankful
And you were
today.
able to
content
finally
gets
create
out there,
Adam and
we
Eve.
find our way
The
home.
end of your creation.
You have called
You
us
were
If
to
anything, you'll
totally
make it right here.
You want us to live a
deprived
God, and
certain
there's
and
nothing that can
robbed.
stop us.
You were
a way
thieved.
of
We are
life.
You
united.
were
Everyone
We
taken
are dedicated. We are
and kicked
committed
out.
the reunification
to
started
in your
South
Sacrificial
kingdom
Korea.
here in
creation.
Harlem,
Parent,
around New York
I'm so
City.
sorry
To
that
fulfill.
I'm not intellectually
Because
grasping
might as well
this,
just
because
towel now.
emotionally it would
Leave
kill
it
me
coming.
probably if
Help
I
us
would
go
really
forth.
grasp
The
Issues of
of
blessing is
this
going to be
shedding tears
rebellion that
along
took place.
we got our prayers going
Most trusted angels
for each other.
that were against you and were
Reverend
able
and
to trick
Each of us
Eve,
created with
trick
a
Adam
purpose,
into
responsibility,
taking away
working
their
towards the
relationship
blessing
and
and
aligning it with you,
continuing to be
with themselves,
blessing culture
with them,
and
with
peer pressure.
himself.
Everyone is,
And repent,
nudged in the
parent,
right
that we're
direction,
just starting to come to
supporting one
realize
another.
that
And
the point of Jesus
for the reunification start
was
in South
made
excited to help
Korea.
each
in your
other and
image, totally of flesh and blood,
you're going to see
bones,
beautiful families coming out
not
of it.
unite with you and walk with you.
I see Romeo and
Still was
Josh
his
is
decision to do,
during
but
the
it
whole
was was doing it because it was the life that he knew. The only life that he
The
knew
ceremony,
was the
the
one
Saturday
with you,
morning, it's going to be our
through
first
you,
one,
by you. Many parents are so grateful to
It's just the
Jesus,
beginning.
who has actually done this.
Might have mass commitment ceremonies in the future.
Not only
How many people are
enjoyed
gonna
the
be getting that
creation of
reward?
his own self, Adam and
City of New
did,
York
not knowing how volatile, how dangerous
includes
his reality
a lot of
was,
people
so
too.
against all odds and against the forces of the evil. He
Junior
threw
will
himself
and
onto the
Waited a
wheel
long
of
time.
history,
your way of
turned
life.
it the other direction, turned it
Bring
from the
him
wrong
here
direction
this
into the right
the first to
direction, and
bring
he
victory
got
Picture
here in
of
America. I pray
mince
every
meat
parent
was
will
made out
prepare
of him,
for
as we could
the war
see
between
through the
Russia and
tortures and
Ukraine, that
stuff that he had to go through.
for
The
results, oh
devil's
God.
trying to make
Every
mincemeat out of him,
parents, I
yet he
pray
never gave
so
up
for
excited.
his
We're
the
so
parents of that
determination
war,
what's
to
gonna
give
happen.
for the
himself
war to come to an
for
end.
We're gonna
you
make
Pray
sure
in
that
America,
harmony,
Heavenly
to
Father,
even love
come
you
true.
under the circumstances
by
where
the
you
power
couldn't be
Things
with
that
him.
can happen
You
when
had
we
to
love
leave
so
him,
hard.
true
and
parents, I
then
pray
Jesus
that
was
they
able
can
to still love
You see
you.
the
fulfill
fruits of
Said,
the labor.
God,
their
not even think about
to lead us
himself,
to
Amazing.
think
foundation.
about
I
See
pray
you,
that
New
they
York
can
and think
lit
fulfill
up.
about
the
how
vision
difficult it must be for you to give
for the
Shining a
Dogon
beacon of
family.
the
hope.
brothers and
I pray
sisters
that
at the time. He
they're the
begged
leaders
you
of the free
to
world.
forgive them, for they
Heavenly
didn't
parents,
know what they were
parents, I
doing,
pray
Father. He
for
didn't
Well,
think
there's
about
that.
himself.
America,
I
that
really
America
thank you
must stand up
for
and take
Jesus,
There
who
we
has
go.
done
the
this.
It
foundation
reminds us
Father, who
of
has
hope.
done
proud
this
woman
incredible
and
deed.
his brothers.
And 2,000 years later, we now
Around the
know
world.
Times
through the
and
two
Heavenly
how
parents, through the
parents,
two
patience.
I
Father,
pray.
who's
I
talked to
pray for the
Jesus many
speaker of
times,
the house.
the
I pray
very
for the
intricate
speaker that come,
stories, Father, and
let
now the
them
true
stand
mother
up
who is
and
herself,
take their
a woman like
responsibility in the
Jesus,
world and help
in
other
a
families
way,
that
Father,
help other
Everything the
without
right way.
pray
that
that you help other countries,
interference, Father,
Proper
by the
way.
help
devil,
other
that
Everything
people
is
Damon
send
was able
forth.
to
I
prevent.
pray, Heavenly Parents, and true
And Joel
parents,
1 was
that
able
we
to
can go
prevent
forth
the
in your will
unity,
and
the
your
vertical
only
unity.
pathway.
If our
Heavenly
Mary
Caused the
had
Parents,
horizontal
Heavenly Parents,
unity.
and
rose
parents,
I
I
was
pray
to
for
allowed
that
true
you.
mother
most
to have that
We
important
give
same,
thanks to Heavenly Parents
our
and
what are you
unity,
children,
talking
our
about?
unity.
brothers and
This is how
sisters. I
God
pray that
feels. This
we
is
are
how Heavenly
praying
Mother feels.
under the
But a
government of
parent, why don't you just go
God.
ahead and trust me?
To
This
make
is what we need to
New York
do.
a better
But a
place.
parent, it is so
Pray for
difficult for us who have all
New
this
York City
interference,
under
all
Mayor
this
Eric Adams.
sand, all this dust from the dirt,
I commit
this
New York
interference
City
within
a better
ourselves,
place.
so
I
the
pray for
parents,
all the tourism
self
that come to New
assured.
York. Community
And
in New York.
how Jesus
Heavenly Parents, I
and the
pray
true
there's so
Father
many people
has
that
that
reach that
very,
Unity and the
very,
right
pray
fear,
for
very
them.
Father.
similar
I
experience that
pray,
each one of us
I
have,
pray that New York
to
can be
having
a
to
safe city.
actually
I
win
pray for
More
and
world
conquer,
apart. We're
Father,
ready.
with the help of the word that Jesus
Unity,
revealed, Father.
unity,
He was able to
unity.
conquer with the word, was able to conquer, Father, all
We have
this
this love and unity. We're
challenges.
ready.
And look at true mother. And it is not just
America,
love at first sight, but this is the
the work is
heavenly
Heavenly Parents and true parents,
realization that you are
truly
an
love us so much.
amazing
You have
human
called us, you
being,
have chosen us.
the true
You
mother
want
of
to
heaven, earth, and all
fulfill, you
we
want us
find,
to bring the
the mother
victory
of the universe, the
to
only
forth
begotten daughter.
in
You
heaven
created
and
her.
earth, in the heart,
The parent, it
your
was
way of
your
life. I pray
creation,
for
just like
I
you
pray
created
for
Jesus
take
in the
root
midst of
as
all
a
the opposition and the
I pray that
animosity
we can go
and
forth
wanting to
in
kill
heaven
Jesus
in
right
the
from the
pathway,
day.
your
And
way
then
of
King
life.
Herod wanted to
Heavenly
kill him
Parents,
right
Heavenly
away.
Parents, we
When the
bless each
parent and
and every one of
the
us
wall of protection came
go
down
forth,
after 3
bringing
months. And the
victory.
parent,
Pray
true
for
mother was
every
able to
parent for all
survive
the
all this
families around the
and with the
world.
support
I pray
and the
America,
incredible sacrifice of our
America,
true Father to
America.
make it
I
to this
pray for
day
all the
where now
countries
she
in Europe,
is the
Africa,
Father. She's
South
gonna
America,
live, give her
really
life
need
many, many
them.
times
I
over
In
pray
the
as
that
Jesus
future,
did.
Lord,
we
we
can
pray.
fulfill
Parent, if
that
that's
we
what
can love each
necessary, but I
other.
pray that
Heavenly
it's
Parents,
not
we can do each
necessary.
other this
We
victory.
don't have to
I
have
pray
this
Heavenly
replay.
Parents and true
As
parents
she said, we don't
victory.
need any more
Victory,
parallels of
Challenging
victory.
our
I
history.
pray
marriage,
for our
There's
past
no
communication,
brothers
need
and
for
sisters going
parallels
through
of
sickness
history.
sexual
There's
every
no
promiscuity,
day.
need
I
for
sexual
pray
repeating the
Heavenly Parents
job,
and true
desire,
parents for them
Father,
to go out
peace,
repeating it
sickness
over and
family,
over
every
again.
day.
Heavenly Father, I
Every
pray for
day,
true
Heavenly
mother
Parents, true
that we
parents to
can
find your glory.
really want to
Spirit,
join up
second and
our
third.
bones and flesh
Thank
and
you,
our
sons and
cells, every
daughters.
body
I
part
pray, Heavenly
that
Parents,
is
and Heavenly
involved
Parents,
in
for
this,
all brothers
including
and
the
sisters,
most sacred
Lord,
ones,
those parents,
King
that you
Benson
please
parents,
bless each
for
one
all
of my brothers and
brothers and
sisters
sisters that
with this
I
blessing,
pray
Father,
that
where the
each and every
root
one bring
of
you
evil has
peace
been
as
removed. The
we
only
can
thing
do
is
your
left
will
is
on earth
the
as it is
cleanup
started.
job, Father,
Your
which
way of life.
of
I pray, Heavenly
hereditary
Parents, and
the
King
collective and the
Benson,
individual
I
sin.
pray, Heavenly Parents,
Father,
and
I
King
have
and
so
years
Benson,
of
much
hard
that
work
cleaning
you
up
can
to
bring
do.
to
Tuesday
victory
morning.
Father,
here
just
in New
looking
York.
at this
That
place here, Father,
New
there's
York,
so much in
that
my
whole
you. Thank you, everybody. We had a good prayer. Do we have any announcements?
Do Sorry, I'm still getting used to my new phone. Today is National Night Out. Does anyone know what that is? I heard about it. So this is a national initiative. I see some people nodding their heads. This is it's usually in partnership with the local police precinct, fire department, and this is where the community comes out in the evening when a lot of the crime happens and stuff like that. So this is they do this once a year. I've of course Apostle Ramos has asked for my help. So I promised 5 volunteers to help set up tables and stuff, whatever they need. So I'm meeting up with some people at 2 p.m. today. We can meet here at the Harlem Center. We'll walk over. It's just 5 blocks up, And I don't know. I already have secured pretty much 5 volunteers at this point, but just wanted to let you know that this is happening. And if you're able to help out, great. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for listening. And this is a great initiative that we can support.
So what do you do? What do you do on your National Night Out?
I think people do different things. A lot of fun things for kids. It's like a block party with the local precinct, and often you'll have like a fire truck or something, and the kids can go inside, and they can really feel the community, civic, hopefully. I know Apostle, they're going to raffle off some bicycles. Apparently, she was asking for donations if anyone has like any bikes they want to donate, and we can get them here in time. She didn't give me much notice, by the way, so she can't expect too much. But next year, hopefully, we'll have more bikes we can give to the kids. But anyway, it's a good family friendly activity.
Okay, sounds nice.
Another update is, happy August, everyone.
Oh yeah,
and yes, happy August, which means for the prayer warriors, I've sent out the new prayer list for them.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you.
So excited.
Dr. Seidel?
Yes, sir.
Good morning to you and the entire team. I have a little testimony that I'd like to share just for a minute or two.
Sure.
Yes.
On Sunday, after I left church and was on my way going out to fundraising, I had an encounter with President Dunkley and his entire family.
Oh, good.
Oh.
And
wow.
They saw me with this, bucket of flowers in my hand. And as I was racing to catch my train, so he stopped me and wished me well in my going out. But not only that, he also gave me a gift, and say, you will do well today. You will sell everything, So I went over to my fundraising area, and I wasn't doing so well because during the summertime, it's very difficult to get these products out because the weather is so hot, and the flowers doesn't last long in those conditions. Many people are on vacation. The restaurants are empty. Anyway, I had to go because that is my way to generate income. So I'd forgotten about all that took place, on leaving the New Yorker, and was really focused on how can I sell these roses. I went into one of my regular place of business and was hoping to attract some customers. So there was a table with a lot of people around it, and it's a Portuguese restaurant. They sell some of the finest seafood in the world, and I myself am a lover of seafood, but I cannot afford to buy in that restaurant. Very, very expensive. anyway, I saw a group in that restaurant, and they were having a great time. Everybody was enjoying themselves. And there was one gentleman called me over to the table and he said to me, how old are you? That's what he said to me. How old are you, And I said to him, how old do you think I am? And then we eventually, then he asked me, why do you do this? And I said, because I love doing it. I like meeting people, and this enables me to, connect with a lot of people like yourself. Then he was trying to determine if this was my only source of income. But anyway, eventually, he said to me, I want you to give a flower to everyone at this table. So he bought the whole thing and paid for it. Not only that, he said to me, you can order anything that you want. He wanted me to join the festivity, but there was no space at his table, so I had a whole table for myself. So that restaurant where many of the people, the waiters and waitresses who were there, they're my friends because I go there all the time. So they rushed to my table because they really wanted to give me, the first class service. So, I sat there and I ordered the finest food in the restaurant that I could have had, And then he said to me, you're a married man. I want you to take home for your wife also. He said to me.
Wow.
So he bought not just, for me, he bought the flowers. He sat me down to have dinner, anything I wanted. And then he said, now you're going to take home something for your wife. He said like that.
Amen. Amen.
And then, so, I was very impressed with that, but it was then that my reflections go back to Reverend Dunkley, as an emissary of our true parents. I thought, this to be quite unusual in the sense that not only did the man buy all my flowers, which some people do from time to time, but he also had me had dinner, and then he asked me to take home some for my wife. So I felt that it was due to Reverend Dunkley's prayer and blessing in sending me out that I was able to make such an encounter and had such an incredible experience. So I thought I would just, wanted to share that and to ask us to really pray for Reverend Dunkley, because as we prayed for Dr. Young, every morning I could hear people, thanking Dr. Young and praising him and blessing him. I'd love for us to do the same for Reverend Dunkley. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Amen.
so much for sharing. Wow. We're so
Great
happy.
testimony.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you. We're really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Hiroki, I miss you so much.
So now I know, now I know the dinner that I got came from heaven.
Hi, oh,
Hi, Hero.
I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much, everybody. I guess, I hope you all have a wonderful month. This is a great, great start. It's a great start to a great month.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Green. That was very inspiring. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, a real living testimony.
Yeah,
Yes.
really wonderful. All right.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Can I get that on camera? No, we got to go. All right. I want to say, everybody,